Hi there guys, and welcome to another Train Sim 2017 video. Today we're doing a workshop scenario on the West Coast main line over Shap, from Carlisle to Dumfries via Annan. The blurb that just came up there basically said what I just said. So this was basically because I wanted a little rip in the 170, mainly to show off this. This is the new cab texture pack that's around on UK Train Sim. It basically gives us a high def texture pack for the cab, which is much better because you can actually read the bottom of the buttons, and it just looks a lot better these days. I think I am missing, as much as I've tried, a bit of stock. The BH Reskins Pendolino. It still tells me it's missing, even though it is installed. So I'm hoping that we do get to see it at some point, but we'll wait and see. Okay, I've got my doors open already, which is a good thing. Oh, it looks like the old 170 cab. So really, these are two trains that are in desperate need of an overhaul train sim, aren't they? I don't know what people are all saying, oh well, legacy stock is coming to its end of its life now, da 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 da, with Train Sim World coming out. I can see this being used for a long time, yeah. So I'd love to see somebody enhance the Pendolino. I'd love Thompson to let somebody do something with the 170, or them do it themselves even. Fair old platform gap there, isn't there? I mean, it's crying out to be able to do the display indicators, turn our lights on individually. And there is a whole lighting panel up here. Just little buttons to fiddle with would be nice. Signal bell does work. And I mean, it's really not the worst out there. Could do with a cab light. I don't know if it's got one actually. No cab light. Not that I use that often either, to be honest with you. But the hazard light, sander works, horn works. I think it's only a... Oh no, we have a two-tone horn. Windscreen wiper. AWS acknowledge. Okay, so it's maybe not as bad as I remember it. You'll also notice field of view slightly different. I've stretched it back a little bit. Not a massive fan of it just yet. I prefer actually it just one notch zoomed in, so we're about there. That's how I prefer it. So we'll be taking that back to 95 and to 90 instead of 95. And if you want to know how to do that, just Google it or YouTube it, because there is an excellent tutorial by PTG Rail. So I'm not going to do one. I'm not going to tread on the man's toes. He does some awesome work. So we are calling at Carlisle, Annan, and then Dumfries. So 1626, about 40-minute scenario, which is quite nice. Just before I go off to bed. So yeah, I'll try and dig out the link for this on UK Train Sim. I'm sure it was UK Train. Maybe it isn't UK Train Sim. I might be completely making that up, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, I thought the signal bell worked, didn't it? Does it not work from back here then? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Okay. My bad. Yeah, it's crying out for sounds. A general update, really. They're not terrible. I'm not sure if I like this field of view change. It even makes everything look a little bit wonky outside. I mean, that cab looks ridiculously sloped when it isn't. How about if I do that? So, that's better. Zoom back in a few bits. I know I've got a little soft spot for the 170. I think out of post-BR DMUs, it's up there, one of my favourites. They're comfy, they do their job. They do their job. I do get to run these quite a lot out to Norwich and even up towards Ipswich and things, or even going towards Birmingham. They're comfortable, they're smooth, relatively quiet. They get a bit monotonous, I won't lie. Once you've been on one for a couple of hours, like from Cambridge to Birmingham, the drone can get a bit much. Got 57 there. So this is a workshop scenario. I don't think it's set in any particular time period. Saltire Livery, I don't think was on anything when Freightliner still had 57s. But I'll have it as a bit of AI. Over there, some 325 stabled. One thing the field of view thing does give you is a sense of how big cabs are, and I must say the 170s isn't very big. I've just been driving the HST and that thing's a bit like a bloody greenhouse. .66 over there, a couple of 66s. Oh god, fair few 325s. .325s ever stabled at Carlisle? It was Wembley depot they end up at. More of them over there. So the 170s themselves, they were built originally by Adtrans, who were then bought out by Bombardier. Built in Derby, I keep doing that when I read it, Derby. I think they were the first, they were one of the first post-privatisation trains, definitely. The first one came in about 1997, 98. And for 100-mile-an-hour top speed, you know, there was the only other thing that could even get close to what this could do was the 158, and that only did 90. And this thing brought in double glazed windows, well insulated, air conditioned. Cabs and saloons, really. So officially it's development of the design used for the 1565 and 166. Which were originally done by British Rail, yeah, but then later ABB did build them as well as the 365. Good God, another 325. No, the 325s. So I mean the 165s, weren't they? Were they the Clubmans? Or were they the one? No, the Clubmans were the 168s. The 166s, they were network of turbos, weren't they? I don't think I've never been on a 168. So ScotRail themselves are actually the largest operator of the 170s. With a fleet of 55 three-car sets. So originally 34 of them had first-class accommodation, and they were for the Edinburgh, Glasgow and Inverness, Glasgow, Edinburgh services. There was 9 units were ordered by Strathclyde Passenger Transport, and they're all under Transport Scotland now. Well, I mean, I've done first class in the 170. It was actually my Facebook picture for ages. Was I'd managed to get a real cheap first class. My brother was doing the soffits and stuff at the front of my grandma's house. I was on my way up to Mulgai and I managed to get a first class ticket dirt cheap. I think it was like 24 quid or something from Cambridge to Mulgai. So my bit between Edinburgh, Waverley and Queen Street was first class in the 170, and I must say I thoroughly enjoyed it. Nothing massively special, but a little trolley service and a couple of beers. I was happy as Larry. And it felt that bit different. I think that's the thing that I think some people forget, is when you go first class on a train, it's not always about the interior being banging. It's not always about it being a massively more comfortable seat. It's about being a little bit quieter. There's usually less people around. And I'll be honest with you, it's usually about a tenner more expensive, if that sometimes. So yes, by all means go first class. If I travel by train these days, then I definitely try and go first class. Well, as long as it's worth it. So I mean, if you're going on a route where it's not worth being in first class, don't go first class. But if you're on a long journey, like especially if you're on the East Coast going up to Scotland or something from London, damn, go first class. So much nicer. And with East Coast, it is worth it. I mean, you go during the week, you can have as much booze as you like as well. But I usually try and get sort of the 20 to 6 train up to Peterborough. I think it's usually about 20 past 6 that the King's Cross Edinburgh train comes in. Hop on that, get my breakfast. And then by the time you're up at sort of Newcastle, you're getting your lunch before you get off at Edinburgh. And then I get a beer on the train from Edinburgh to Glasgow. But also the weekend first upgrades aren't to be sniffed at either. Just for the extra leg room, for the reclining seat and the extra bit of comfort. I have done first class in the new Virgin East Coast interior. I'm in two minds with it. The old Mallard interiors, if they weren't as tatty and as worn out and the seat cushions weren't as knackered as they were, I would still have gone for a Mallard interior over the new leathery Virgin one. Don't get me wrong, it looks lovely. If slightly tacky, it does still look really nice. It reminds me of like sort of a hairdresser's. That sort of black leather. Or stools in certain types of gentlemen's clubs. That sort of black leather and chrome. I quite like it. The 170's had a lovely little bit of first class. And my favourite thing about first class is the little lamp that you get on the table. I don't care if it doesn't do anything. Do you know what I mean? It really doesn't. But just being able to switch your little lamp on and off at your table is lovely. I enjoy that. On engineers train there. So the brake could be stepped. I don't know why the brake isn't stepped. It clicks in like it is. But actually on the button pushers themselves it isn't, like in between steps. And that's step 3. 1. There you go, there's my gripe for the 170. Brakes unstepped. Grr, I can be angry at it again now. I can't really, apart from the sounds. That is what would usually be on this route. It's the old ScotRail livery. Nice harsh stop for my passengers there. Blame on the brakes. So we're at Annan for a little while. We weren't supposed to get here till 1608. That's when we meant to depart. 1608. So what can I say about Annan? My uncle used to live here, that's about it. Because as you've probably known from watching the other videos, actually I'm on our way to Dumfries, and it is where I lived for a little while when I was younger. Shall we do a thumbnail while we're here? Oh look, we're pretty planting it. It isn't very pretty when you get close up to it. I quite like it with the greenery. It shows off that comforting side of train sim. So what you can actually see on the real 170s is that, maybe this side actually, wouldn't it? This side. We're all going to be facing the wrong way from it. Because you can actually see the Mercedes logo on the engines. There were MTU lumps that were in them. Do not get a guard's buzzer today. No, I left my guard at Carlisle. So there's the MTU 6R183TD 13H diesels, and that's per car. The bogies are Brel P3s for the power ones, and T3s for the unpowered ones. So this is power output 422 horsepower. On some of the 158's 450. Can never remember. just actually going through the list of accidents that the 170s have been involved in. It's quite high. To be fair, some of these are just crossing. No, well, say just crossing crashes. It's the 30th of November 2005. Collision with a tractor. Sorry, with a car at a level crossing in Swainsthorpe, Norfolk. The Great Eastern Main Line. Driver was killed in apparent suicide. 12th of September 2006. Uh, 170-206 was derailed as it crossed the level crossing at Croxton in Norfolk on the Breckland line. There was a panel that formed part of the level crossing had become dislodged and failed both the railway and the road. We're getting a bit downhill over here. Jeez. 27th of July 2011, 170-393. Derailed after crossing over a set of faulty points at Princess Street Gardens in the approach to Waverley. The train was running empty with only 2 members of crew on board, neither were injured. Actually, I kind of remember that one. Strangely. 14th of July 2013, 172-72. Collided with a car towing a trailer on a level crossing Woodbridge in Suffolk on the East Suffolk line. 10th of April 2016, 172.04. Collided with an agricultural tractor on the level crossing at Roundham on the Breckland line. The tractor driver was seriously injured. The train driver and some passengers sustained minor injuries. An investigation revealed that the tractor driver had obtained permission to cross the line. I don't know what investigation that is. Some nice bedtime reading for me. That's an insight into my weird brain. I just see right that cross-country refurb in their 170s. 170s are actually the only thing to use Cambridge Depot anymore, and I wasn't even aware of this. But supposedly they are cleaned and serviced, and it's now owned by Riva, who also own cross-country, so hence why they probably look after their own stock in their own depot. There's a press release on Cross Country Trains' website here. It says the warm black front ends, red doors, bold logo branding will make trains easily recognisable. Hang on, when was this? Interior refurbishment provide bright and fresh accommodation with more seats and luggage space will begin in April. Transits Projects Limited. The depot at Clacton-on-Sea. Seats will be retrimmed, new carpets fitted, at-sea power points, 2+1 seat on the first class accommodation on every train. Oh, it's me overspeeding again. Now I don't mind the 2+2, I think it is, on the cross-country 170s at the moment. I'm not 100% sure how accurate or new this is. Doesn't have a date, strange enough, for a press release. But saying that, I probably haven't been on a cross-country 170 for about a year, I think. Maybe a little bit more. But yeah, they are. They're served at Cambridge. So the only thing that is the carriage sidings where a lot of the Balliol Greater Anglia stock is cleaned and stabled, but there's no, I think, servicing of the 170s. I think they're the only things that actually get serviced. It used to be LNWR, and then before that there was DB Schenker. Not sure. If anybody knows, stick it in the comments. The one thing I can tell you about Cambridge Depot is if you crossed over the Coleman's Lane Bridge years ago, there used to be a face, a Thomas face. There was obviously a fiberglass casting for the front of a locomotive, and it was stuck up on a chimney. It's brilliant. Railways don't do anything like that anymore, really, do they? To sort of attract kids. Sorry, have to go and investigate the milk bottle. Two milk bottles. Okay. We'll never know. But they don't do anything to sort of attract you. There are very few sort of open days as well. I know DRS do quite a few, but it was last Toten Open Day or Cambridge Open Day for that matter. I remember the Cambridge Open Day was 1992. I was about 7 or 8, I think. 92. How old was 92? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7. And I think that was to do with the electrification up to King's Lynn as well. I remember there was a Deltic there, something in the RTC livery. Was it 25 or 26 or 27? One of those. It wasn't 25, sorry, 26 or 27. It would have been. And a green Deltic. But of course, at the time I had no idea it was Deltic. It's just that that's what I could picture it as. 312s as well. I'm driving this at 77 instead of 80 because I can't be bothered to fight with the combined power lever, if I'm honest. I've only got a few miles till Dumfries anyway. And you'll be glad to get to Dumfries. You'll be sick of my waffling already today. This is a real random one. This doesn't really have much purpose other than to show you off the 170s HD cab. I used to be a pro at driving this as well. Bombing it up and down the Edinburgh-Glasgow route. I've driven it for donkeys. That's a lie. I think I drove it once on the Wherry lines. Do you know that might tell me something? Do you think these maybe as much as I like them, do you think they are just boring units? Quite tedious to drive. Well, I do have a mate that drives 170s for cross country. I'll ask him. it just sort of repeats itself over and over again. The AWS one's pretty hideous as well, isn't it? If you're watching this through headphones like I'm playing this through headphones, you'll know when that AWS buzzer sounds. Yeah, I don't mind. Just realised this video is basically me going, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it, I like it. Will you guys tell me, what do you think of the 170? Train sim version and real life version, please. Do you want to see more of it? Do you never want to see it again? It's just sort of meh, isn't it? I don't think a lot of people would find it massively exciting or particularly offensive. So 70 over there. Yep. Oh, I can't moan at this for a fictional workshop run. I've quite enjoyed it, really. How do you get step 2.5? Dumfries. Right, I'm away to check myself into the Crichton, and in real life I'm going to go to bed. So thanks again for watching, guys, and catch you again soon.